destroyed a bunch of homes of people of color in the process. LA doesn't just stay this segregated by accident. Damn freeways keep it that way. I'm going to show you modern day segregation. Come on. This is a nice little neighborhood. I thought I lost you, man.
You did. I don't know what happened, but I just went back. I just hit the link again.
Cool.
Hey, look. You see what's saying at the bottom?
Yeah. That's you now?
That's my new name. Yeah.
That's so cool, man. I got this damn. My last name is Perkins. I know that was a slave master.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I learned through history is that the Moors existed all across the world, and that's like our origin is from here in America, and end up going all over the world. But Spain, I know you probably heard about the Moors in Spain. There was the Moors in England, like all over Europe.
This is what I study, bro. This is what I go to school for. This is what I know. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something though.
But have you ever identified them as that's who you are? You are the ancestor. That they are your ancestors.
I be careful with a lot of stuff I say, but it's complicated. It's not simple, The Moors wasn't the only ones, black folks over here. Damn, you made me forget what I was gonna say. Damn, I lost it.
Timelines are important. So
yes, exactly.
Anytime you're dealing with history, timelines are important. But a lot of those people that were in Europe, that was in Africa, that had set up different civilizations, originally came from America. When they were expelled out of Spain, one of the things that they said was when they got expelled, they were going back home.
And a lot of people don't know this. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Niggas is a thing, bro. You have to think about it. White people are not creative, bro. They don't create shit. How the hell they came up with the Indians? That was them they called them Indians because they was fucking lost. So the thing about niggas, Negus, that's a thing. And that's what they called us because that's what we was. That's all right. So that's you had groups of people, like I say, the black when they came over here and they saw the black folks, they called us niggas because they knew from before, from where they came from. Does that make sense?
Well, there's actually different reasons for that, because one of the things about frequency is that throughout time, like there's nothing new under the sun, and throughout time there's a certain frequency that a person puts out, but a lot of that nigger stuff really derived from just them, because in Spanish, because of our majority dark hue, you know, Negro in Spanish is, that's black. English, okay, it's already converted there for black. But they, even though we were, at one time they called the Negas, the Nagash, uh, whatever, when you call on those things, those frequencies, just for whatever reason will relive itself. Because like even us, certain things that we say, um, you know, let's see, like trying to think of a good one that we say, because I mean even like the crib, and just little things that we use as slang. Uh, well, dang, this dude, he does a lot of science stuff, and he was saying how we use different slangs that actually, when you go to the purest form of it in science, it'll be that same thing, that where it results, it'll kind of just go right back into where it matches. So those frequencies will line up just because we're doing something based on our feelings, and how the way we speak out what we feel. A lot of times it'll match back up even when you break it down in science.
And that's what I was gonna say is that because I study anthropology, and one of the parts of anthropology is like linguistics. And the thing is, a lot of history is hidden in the words and stuff that we use. Exactly. Like, and then you can't. That's evidence. That's actual evidence that you can use. Like that can't be disputed. Once you actually study and take those words back, then you're gonna have a really good picture of where that shit came from.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's that whole thing will go back into more science. That's really like a whole part of it because these is people who have, pretty much designed the whole world in a way that we express ourselves, like with, linguistics, whether it's from, just regular street slang all the way up into, you know, law. It's broken down into a science. There's definitions, like where you can say the same word, but no, because it's spelled this way, it means this. So I mean, it's been broken down into science. So um, we, I guess me having this conversation with somebody who at least have some understanding of it is really good because you starting out from scratch with somebody is just like, okay, where do I begin?
That's
But
why I don't explain stuff to people that have. You have to do some reading before I can even really talk to you, man. Like about stuff like this. Like you already have to know some stuff because I can't break everything. It take
well,
class. It take hours.
yeah, you're right, but I mean, it's still good to try to plant some seeds because that's kind of what happened for me. Because even as a kid, a lot of the things I'm learning now, I'm able to be like, oh wow, okay, I'm able to relate it to something that I heard before, and then of course my interest level is already high, so I go into it you know a little, into it deeper to where okay, I can actually really get into it. But um yeah, you still need to plant seeds with these people, man, because a lot of the stuff that we know, we need more people to know. Because
That's why I'm doing this channel. That's why I'm doing this channel. And if you check out my videos, I always say I want people to be activists. I want the people out there that's listening, you guys out there listening, I want you to be an activist. Go out into your community and find something that's not right and try to freaking fix it. Do what you can. What I always say is do what you can. It's okay to not try to move a mountain. Just do what you can. Do something. Go out there, try to do something. And that's what I do in my videos. I try to make people angry, and that's what I be playing these videos. I'm trying to get people upset. I'm trying to educate them, and I'm trying to get them upset because that's what's gonna get them off their ass and gonna go out there and maybe make a difference. Check this
what
out
what
right
if-
here.
what if can I piss them off a little bit?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We've been going out here in these different protests and you know fighting for rights as a citizen that we're not truly citizens of. They gave us some people will go and try to fight you and say, "Oh no, we really citizens." No, I'm a citizen. You're not really a citizen of the United States for a few different reasons. First of all, the United States that exists now is not even a true government. It is a corporate entity that is running the government, just like,
A lot of people don't know that. Go ahead.
so you actually are subjecting yourself to a corporate entity. What does a corporate entity? They're employees. You're employees of a, a company, a corporate. So
This is deep. You know about driver's license? How much you know about that? Like traveling and driver motor vehicle. The whole reason I don't want to break it down. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know, yes, I know all of that, and
Okay, because
that
that's
those are.
connected. Go ahead.
Yeah, those there's a lot of things that's a part of our inalienable rights, but because we've attached ourselves to that corporate entity, that wipes us out of it, because we're not the original people that government was made for. each person, because like even the Chinese people that's here in this country, they 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 vote outside of like they made a block for themselves to be able to withhold their power. Even though they got low numbers, they have a because they've come together and put their block together, they can, you know, hold whatever power they have here on the Western Hemisphere as Chinese people that actually are from a whole nother continent. We are from this continent, and because we want to attach ourselves to a people that came in and enslaved us and, you know, killed a bunch of our ancestors. You know, hey, I'm not telling you to still, you know, to necessarily be angry. You know, if you are, that's on you. But, you know, one thing is to recognize your own power, and there are systems in place for the people that was here before this, you know, when it was a real government.
A
when
lot
it
of people don't know this stuff. It's sovereignty, sovereignty of the land, and I think that's what they're the most afraid of. They're most afraid of black people wake up and be like, wait.
Yeah.
If anybody
and
got
and
rights
and
to this
and
shit,
and, and I don't want them to get it mixed up with this whole sovereign citizen thing, because that's a
yeah,
whole nother
that's a that's them white folks actually. They be on that
it,
shit,
it
and
it
it got the
is.
niggas on it.
It's
That's
actually,
different.
well, and that was also a way to be able to distract you from being able to get to the real nuts and bolts of
Exactly.
the meat of what you could really have,
Be-
because I'm a part of a government, and you see this Ogun Shi. I'm actually Ogun Amaru Shi, and it's a part of the Shi Amaru tribe. And
hmm,
there's other tribal governments that have their own existing governments that exist, and they actually operate through that as their primary government, and are actually like dual citizens to the United States, which would make you a national. So
right.
when you're a national, because nobody can be a sovereign person, a sovereign citizen, just as an individual,
As
you
an
cannot
individual,
be. Yeah, you cannot be sovereign. So when you're a group, when you're a people, you actually can, you know, you have a lot more power and protection. You know, you never, like, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, a lot of times when one of our people gets shot down in the streets, the reason why they can sweep it under the rug and, you know, not really do anything for it is because
we
you
not citizens.
yet you're not a real citizen. Like we're fictitious. You know, we're only, like, if they really just look at some plain definitions in law, it'll, you know, when you look at a person really is a fictitious thing. It's like
Right.
something
That,
that
that's
looks
that's
real. Huh?
that goes to the straw man, and that's the reason why our names be in all caps whenever it's official stuff. It's always all caps.
Yes.
That's the
Now,
reason.
that's the way that they've kind of had it set up, because, you know, I'm a natural person based on law, because of the way I'm connected to my
But
government.
but the law but the United States law doesn't recognize your natural person. They only recognize your government person, the all caps person with the social security number and shit.
Only if they choose to. If, you
No, I
know, let's
understand.
just.
I'm just explaining
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
for the
yeah, yeah.
people.
That's the way that they've been playing it, because there's certain things they know that, okay, y'all get to a point to where y'all want to tear some stuff up and this, that, and okay, y'all really serious about this one. All right, we gonna do something. We're gonna send this dude to jail, or because I mean, once he's in prison, do you even really know he in prison?
He gone. He a ghost. That's what people
He
always say. That's what people always say. When they go to jail, they gone. They a
they can send
ghost.
him to Barbados, and
You don't know where
he's
they at.
somewhere. Yeah, they think he locked up, but he's somewhere in a whole nother country. He might be in Thailand, or
And how would he know?
what
How would he know?
that what yeah, the person,
Yeah.
I mean, they know where they are, but I mean, as far as the people who's been fighting for the justice or whatever, the person that's supposed to be in prison, uh, they're not gonna know what they really do with that person.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they just tell them where they are. They'd be like, the name of the prison is always, it's like a state. That goes back to what we were saying. And it's always like the name of like a random ass city or random, I mean, it's its own
A little
entity.
small country, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, but they can always say that he's in solitary, he's under protection, and he's never went to the place.
It's so crazy. I played a video about how they robbing everybody with the phone calls, and then they tripping about the cell phones. They can't have that, as contraband. But they charge them so much for those phone calls coming out of there. That's fucking robbery, man.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, bro. Like I mean, they knew what they were doing when they did all of this, man. Like they knew, like I mean, and then like that's the whole thing. Like if we were smart enough to step outside, because like we have every same right. I mean, all the rights that you think you have, if you step outside of that, you can actually experience it. Like if you stop trying to attach yourselves to that entity that they call because I mean, do you even realize that they don't even really say United States of America anymore? They just say United States.
United States is a
A lot of times they
corporation.
just say that part is a corporation now, and that's how crazy legal jargon is. Because legalese, if you understand legalese, you can see that when they use United States, they're talking about that corporation. And
The
then when they say,
corporation.
yeah, and then them, being able to represent the United States of America, because, you know,
It's just like the
George,
straw man for us.
yeah,
It's not.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, because the government is the actual living entity. It's, the land, but as far as how they operated under
The corporation.
the actual corporation. So I mean, it's a lot of things to it, and people like, oh man,
They
they
should
done
be
got
mad.
you.
What you know about the Federal Reserve? It's connected to this.
Well, the Federal Reserve. I guess to really get into that, I mean, Theodore
It's
Roosevelt, 1933. Oh, was it? No, was it
the year don't
Theodore?
matter. It don't matter.
Well,
That was right
no,
after the Great Depression. Go on.
it was 1933, but I was trying to remember which Roosevelt it was. I think it might have been
Uh,
the
Teddy.
one.
It
Yeah, I
was
think it was
Theodore.
Theodore. Yeah, I think it was Theodore, and he pretty much sold us away to the to the bankers.
Yeah.
The Rothschilds. They pretty much owned up all of the banks in Europe, 5 different countries, with all of his sons, and they pretty much went international. So
What?
they were able to make a deal with America, to be able to control the
What?
monies, and that's when they stole all of our great grandparents and
And that's when we
whoever's
switched from
the
gold
gold standard,
back. That's
the
when we
gold
switched from
standard.
gold, and also that's when the Social Security numbers came out.
hmm
What
That's
do you know?
they started using us on the bond system. So like
Exactly. A lot
that,
of people don't know that. It's on your
yeah,
birth certificate.
yeah,
It's
and
on your
see,
birth
and that's
certificate. Go ahead.
exactly. So I mean, that's one of the things that you can clear up and possibly be able to, I haven't gotten that far into my, because I'm still
Your
trying to
your studies.
finalize.
I can
Well, no,
tell
it's
you've been
not that. No, it's
studying.
not. Yeah, it's
Go
not
ahead.
really so much the studies. It's actually the actual um, action of it. Like I hadn't gotten that far as, being able to reclaim that, because, you know, as Patrick Anders sits, he Patrick Anders, that entity is a business. It's a bond. It's something that's getting sold and traded across the
Right.
world.
Right.
So the money that comes from that, because I control it now, I should be able to I like I
we
said, I haven't got the fruit from it yet. So that's why I'm
we
saying,
we talked about this in my one of my videos. It was a chat with Cuzzo. I think that's the name of it. And when you have time, check it out. It'll be interesting to you because we talked about this exact same subject and we went kind of into details. What I want to say is though, what do you know about like Paris, Versailles, and like the Vatican connected to this whole thing we're talking about?
okay, that's the other part of the United States that people don't understand, because a lot of times when you hear the United States, you think of the 50 states. Well, um, the four states that actually run this country and who's been getting these corporate entities is Washington D.C., London City, the Vatican, and Israel. Those are also considered United States. So that's where a lot of
And that's why people don't understand the politics and how we so friendly with Israel and moving the embassy and all that shit is connected. That's why it doesn't make sense to the people in America. They're like, why the fuck do we give so much money to Israel every year? What the fuck?
well, and I'm gonna tell you, a lot of this stuff lies on us. I mean, um, I'm not one of those literal believers of the Bible. I think there's a lot of principles that we're supposed to learn from it, and there's a lot of ancient principles that's in the Bible that you know we should really take into consideration and act on, because it's really
I
left
agree.
up to, us, like we are the beginning of all of this.
Yeah.
Like we're the reason for our fall, and we need to be the
Lamb
reason
chops.
for our rise.
Tell your mom.
So we really need to take action on changing these dynamics, because I mean, if you think about every time there's a big voting thing going on, why is it that they looking to see what the black people want, or what direction are the black people
There's a
voting?
lot to that. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
no,
kind of, yeah, go ahead.
no, I mean, there's a lot to it, because they know that we are the rightful heirs to this country, because we are the indigenous people of this
Mhm.
country. So,
Okay.
it's layered, but even though they have us as black people, the international, like people from different continents and countries or whatever all over this planet, they know that it's really us. When it comes to the UN, they like a lot of it is based on what we want.
The
And
UN is such
that's
a
really
big joke.
huh?
I said the UN is a big joke. Go ahead.
Well, it, to an extent. Now, I mean, there's some things that need to be changed, but I mean, because of a lot of the stuff, the countries that are involved were able to be able to push forward the rights for indigenous people, because they could continue genocide on us. And because I mean, really, that's what's been happening. A lot of the stuff that we've been fighting for, slavery, like this ADOS stuff, freedmen, all these different things that people fighting for, but they were able to take it from you, because even with whatever you were calling yourselves in the 1800s and 1900s, when all these different things were going on, if that status was so great, then how were they still able to rob you blind? So I mean, there's something that's new and improved today that beats all of that stuff, fighting for civil rights and hey, where my money at. But as a black person, a lot of these people, our black leaders, know what would get it for us, but they won't, because they're the gatekeepers. They're the ones that's gonna distract you. They the ones getting paid to be able to keep you distracted from finding out the real reason or the real
Whoo,
process that'll keep you um from getting further as a people.
whoo. And it's a lot of bole, bole. What am I trying to say? the token Negroes
Boule.
they hold that position too. They hold that position down.
Yeah, the Boule.
Yeah,
That's one of the top groups that the black people come through. A lot of them went through the Prince Hall, um, Freemasonry. Now,
I knew he was gonna say that.
but well, I mean, well, it is. I mean, but if
Yeah,
you think about it, because I mean, a lot of these groups are made up through Greek, uh, these Greek fas- uh fraternities and
right,
sororities.
right.
So, so don't you can't get it mixed up because regular masonry is our people. This is where they gain the knowledge that they have to be able to, because they were let in on some of the secrets or whatever. So they have some of this knowledge, and they know that if they keep most of the knowledge from, especially black people, they know that we'll be able to use it on them even better because it's in our DNA. This is stuff that we created, and
Yeah,
DNA is just memory. This is
right.
something that
Ooh,
we just have to be able to tap
ooh,
into.
ooh. That was one. Say that again. DNA is what? Say that again.
It's just genetic memory. All the things that our ancestors went through and done or whatever, they left that behind for us. That's just memory.
Man, a lot of people don't know that. You could just look that up in science. That's a science right there. You could just that's oh
I Man, they're too distracted, man. Like they allow themselves to get sucked up and sucker punched by all of these different, you know, movements and just it's the propaganda, like allowing themselves to. Because I mean, a lot of us are just lazy. Some of us really want to do some things, but then because you feel like the next man might be a little bit smarter than you, you'll sit back and be like, all right, well, let's do what you want to do. But at the same time, there's a lot of people saying stuff to you that you've been programmed to not listen to.
that's that
Like,
cognitive dissonance. And they get
yeah,
mad. They literally
yeah.
get mad when you tell them something. Like if you I like what I like to say? I like to say I don't believe in Jesus. And then people get mad. I mean, like I believe in God. I do believe in God. I don't believe
Yeah,
in Jesus. I'm sorry.
yeah. Well, I mean, I may not say it the same way because he was symbolic. And really I like to use Yeshua, as that because Yeshua would represent the melanated version of it, but the messianic frequency, which wasn't just Jesus. Moses was a messianic figure. You know, Adam was a messianic figure. Like a lot of different people in the Bible had that representation. Enoch was one that they took out of the Bible, but there's a lot of things that's there
That's
that
funny.
we don't have to, hold dear and true. Like, no, he was real. He was a real person. Like, I mean, dude, that was 2,000 over 2,000 years ago. Why does that part matter? Are
Even
you
matter.
learn? Are you learning the principles? Are you using these principles? You can quote all these different verses in the Bible, but do you act on any of it?
Exactly. They leave out the church and run over old ladies in
In
trying
the
to cross
parking
the
lot.
street.
In the parking lot. You ain't even left church yet.
It's so crazy. It's
Man.
crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy, man.
man.
I don't know what to say about that. But I like what you was saying about the Masons because, like, really, it's knowledge, right? And the
Well,
thing is, great knowledge. You gotta, great knowledge. With great knowledge is great responsibility, and then and what's more valuable, So what do you do with valuable things? You took them away, you hide them, you keep them safe, you know, because it's dangerous for someone that don't know what they're doing to dabble in this stuff. And I think that's what's happening. I feel like the world is ran by children. I really do. I feel like the world is ran by children. It's like if you told, if you knew how to make a bomb, Pat, would you teach your son how to make a bomb? You know what I'm saying? And he's young. So with that knowledge, he liable to
comes
blow
about.
himself up.
Yeah, it takes a lot of responsibility for this because I mean, there's certain, like you said, I mean, there's certain people you really can't have this conversation with, even if they're 80. You know, like they're
They're just not ready.
they're not ready. That like it might really send them into shock. Like they, might have a heart attack. What you say about Jesus? I
Yeah.
mean, everybody. I couldn't have this conversation with my dad or my like I protect my mom. I don't really, take a lot of this onto her, but or even like a lot of the women that like they're not really ready. There's, if I have a woman that came to me that, I could see that they had some of this knowledge and, they are already accepting of it and understand a good bit of it. Yeah, I have a conversation, but a lot of our women aren't really ready for this because they've taken the blue pill and like they might have taken a few of them. Like they are drunk or they're high on this
Sleep.
matrix. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what let's go back because I wanted to say to like the whole masonry to
Go
understand
ahead.
that what is a mason?
For me,
No,
well, it's like you said, it's confusion because a lot of people have this Mason thing going on that they think what they
before,
talking about, but they don't know what they're talking about. The
well
Mason is
before
goes back to,
well well before we get into the group masons,
yeah, that's a
like
totally different.
yeah, before we get into just like the definition, what is a mason? Like what does a mason do?
He's
Like
a
the
he's a builder. He's a person who
okay,
who deals with rocks. He deals with
yeah,
stones.
okay,
He's a
so
stone crafter. He's a master crafter. He's an engineer, really.
yeah, okay, so at the core we know that he's a builder of many civilizations. He's a builder of science. Like even like that, like I mean, there's so much information in my head because like the first compass was made here in the United States thousands of years ago. The
I've heard that.
about the prime meridian,
Well, what do you mean? What about the prime meridian?
that's been figured out with through the stars and the the
That's
movement.
science,
Yeah, all of the science, like being able to figure out time by the way that the earth moves,
right?
and based on the stars and this, that, and the other, be able to tell you
Right.
what time it is
That's
in
how the
Central
clock. All the
Time,
clocks are based on
Eastern
that.
Time.
Yes,
Yes, that was us. All of that originated here, and of course the prime meridians moved after so many, you know, centuries, but they were able to figure that out and place pyramids in those positions to be able to calculate that over time so that, I guess when they come back another 5,000 years from now or however many hundreds of years, that memory will come back and they'll be able to do the same thing. They left marks for us to be able to do all these things.
that's the point.
And
Yeah,
they didn't and it wasn't no simple thing. Here, let me put a piece of wood in the ground to
it
be able
was.
to.
They know that the calculations are so intricate that we don't even have the tools today. I'm not talking about building the pyramids. No, I'm talking about the position that they're in. What you're
the,
talking about, the
exactly.
specific position. That shit is
Uh-huh.
crazy. That makes you think about outer space or aliens or whatever. Because really, to be able to see it, you'd have to be looking from the top. You can't see that from the earth.
Well, we've been here for millions of years. I'm just gonna say we because it's our ancestors. So I mean, they're just a replica. We're a replica of them. So I
That's what I
mean,
think.
we were
We
here.
we obsessed with aliens. I think we're the aliens. I think that's why we're
Well,
obsessed with aliens because we're the aliens.
that's the thing. All you have to do is break down words. You know, we're extraterrestrials. What is terrestrial? What is the Terra? It's the land.
Earth. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's Earth.
yeah.
We're extra. We're extra over all the rest of them. So I mean, extraterrestrial. That is us. Now, did
Wow.
we come
I
from? Did
have,
we come from another?
I've said, wait. I've said this to a whole bunch of people, and you're the first one that was receptive of it. That's so crazy. You know what I
No,
do? You know what I do? I say stuff in jokingly just to see where people is at, and then I'll depending on their answer, whatever. I'll say, oh, I was just joking or whatever, just to kind of brush it off. But I also be trying to plant seeds, and I also be just trying to see where they at. If they really, how far have they gone?
yeah.
You
Well,
apparently you've gone pretty far, further than anybody I've talked to. Damn, I can't think of
well,
nobody.
say, man, look. One thing, if you shut yourself off, because I mean, a lot. I actually prayed to whatever entity that would allow me to be able to tap into whatever truth is, and that's one of those things that I mean the highest being that there is that we'll never see, touch, or feel except for when we're going through this world. Because I mean, a lot of people talk about space, but what's in front of you? I mean, we're walking in space. We we
And
we live in space.
I said that in my video just now, bro. Like they so crazy, like that. Like when you talk about heaven, because that's when I get on that, because people be talking about heaven, like heaven is another place. There is no other place. There's just the universe. We're on a ball that's floating through it. Like the atmosphere is so thin. We would float right out into like it's we are in space right now. That's what the hell
Yeah,
people keep forgetting.
yeah,
There's no other place. We're in space now. Come
yeah.
on. There's no heaven is not another place because there is no other place.
Well,
Hell is not another place because there is
no,
no other place. Now you got upper and lower
it's
levels,
well,
but
there's
it's all
well,
one.
just to add. I mean, really, just to just kind of add on to that. I mean, it's not. It is not a place. It is a state of mind. It's a state of being. Because we live in polarities. Good and bad, good and evil. I mean, good and evil, whether it's
It's the yin
wet
and
or
the yang.
dry. Yeah, it's the yin and yang thing. So I mean, and we just got to find our balance in it. Because if you waiting to die to experience heaven, you don't have a life. Like I mean, we're supposed to all live in abundance. Like you know, we everything, like your heaven can be now, and based on our a lot of our upbringing, especially if you were in Christianity, man, I'm gonna tell you, like you've been like if you try to act like what's this blasphemy and all these different things. These are creations to be able to manipulate your mind to be fearful of.
Because soon as you start going down that road to the truth, now you blasphemous or whatever, you're evil or you worshiping the devil or whatever, and it scares you, and then you go back into your little box. And what I say about all the religions on the planet, they're all boxes, and if you keep growing spiritually, you're going to grow right out of them. It doesn't matter which religion you're in. Now that doesn't mean that you have to leave your religion as far as like the principles and stuff that you've learned, but you have to, if you want to continue to grow spiritually, you got to look for other places to get spiritual guidance.
Well, the way I was taught, the religion is for kids, and I hate to put it that way. Religion is really for kids to be
Damn,
able
you're
to
the only
give it a
person, bro, that
structure.
gets this shit. It's so crazy. I hope somebody watches this damn
Yeah, I
video.
mean it's to help kids get structure, but then we're all supposed to live life and put all these things into
That's
practice.
the simplest form. Like it's boiled down to the simplest elements. And yes, that's good for kids. I mean, because they haven't, their brain hasn't developed enough to be able to start going down that
Yeah,
spiritual journey. So you
I,
plant those little seeds so the seeds can grow. The problem is we weed them out, or we stamp them out when they start to grow. And this whole system is like that. Is to keep everybody in a box, keep it from growing, so that they can be controlled and manipulated. It's so simple.
Look,
So
I'm
like,
gonna tell. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead,
Yeah,
go ahead,
no, I know. I thought you was closing on that point. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
go
to.
ahead,
But
go
I was
ahead,
gonna
go ahead.
say,
I don't know what I was
what?
saying. I lost it now.
Because with my son, he's too young for me to really take him down the rabbit hole. But at the same time, I'm still giving him pieces because he's just asked me, you know, about heaven and hell. Is it real? And of course, I still like, yeah, it is real, but it's not a place. This is something that, you can choose to have either one. You can
It's a
have,
state of mind.
yeah,
Heaven and
you can have heaven right here while you
you
living,
have hell
or
too.
you can have hell right here while you living. You
Hmm.
know, a lot of our people are in hell,
Lost in the
and
matrix.
they think, and they wait. It's like, well, damn, if I die, then I mean, like they're thinking that it's all based on,
What's gonna happen later? And like,
yeah,
isn't that the biggest con that you could ever get? It's like, meanwhile, I'm living riches and living good. You just chill. You're gonna get yours after you die.
yeah, and they've been made to be evil where they just accepted life and just like, look, I'm not going for that. I mean, a lot of these people that they put evil on might have some real, understanding and knowledge that there's really no such thing as those different places, and they wasn't really tied up into it the same way that a lot of us were.
And I think you just struck something that's really really deep that a lot of people don't understand about knowledge, because what I like to say is like a knife, right? You can use the knife to butter your bread, or you can
Uh-huh.
stab somebody in the neck with it. You know what I'm saying? So the thing out there, the knowledge is really the same. When we talk about the masonry or whatever, the people can choose to use it in the way they want, and you got people out there who's using it for evil, and then you got people that's using it to grow. So
Well,
it
and that's very true, because I mean, the example I usually use is water. I mean, you can make your glass full of water, or you can, get immersed and drown in some water. I mean, is it really bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, is water bad? It can have two. It can nourish your body. It can keep you from dehydrating, but it can also kill you. It can also drown you. So I mean, fire,
same
shoot,
thing.
you can burn up in a house, or it can cook your meals. So
Exactly.
there's polarities to everything. So you
Exactly.
can't you can't call anything good or bad. I don't care
Exactly.
what you
And
use.
man, I just said that in my last video. I did the example of the lion and the gazelle, but that's what I said because we were talking about religion, and she said something. It was the one with Ayana. It was the chat with JT. That's the name of the video. And
Uh,
she said something about religion, and she was like, it's good or it's bad or something. And I was like, well, what if there is no good or bad? And a lot of people can't get their brain around that concept. It's again, that's the yin and the yang. It's the universe. It's everything. God and the devil. It's like
mhm.
damn, I lost what I was gonna say. Uh, anyways, the everything is one. Oh, that's deep too. There's a somewhere in Africa, it could be, I don't know, old tribe, and they the way they count, they only use one is the only number, and they count everything that way. And it's just a it's everything is either one or pieces of one. So the thing is, that's the universe. You know what I'm saying? And then that's also helps you understand spirituality. And if you still look at the world through good and bad, that's gonna leave you in a box that you can't grow out of. That you're gonna be missing all of this knowledge of the universe because you're trying to look at it between a good and bad,
Yeah,
way.
your lens is blurred. Like, I mean,
Yeah, your
you
perspective is bad.
yeah, you got,
Right.
yeah. I mean, if you whatever lens you're looking out of, it's got smudges in it because you can't see it clearly because you have these blocks on it that says, well, if I go to this extent, or this, once I get this far, then I got to turn around and go back because that's, that ends it, if I do this. But at the same time, I mean, everything in life is about balance. You know, like that's even when we go into this whole homosexuality type stuff. I mean, okay, that is there's two different sexes. Like if all sexes was the same or was supposed to be that way, like why are we like why did God create, or why did this universe allow to have a positive and a negative, a penis and a vagina? Like, why is that the only way that you can have more creation, make more of you with those two entities? Like, I mean, even like in science, two positives repel, two negatives repel, but a positive and a negative come together. So, like, I mean, anybody that's going against nature, that's where I would come to say that that's bad.
Oh, I know what I wanted to say earlier because you was talking about the how they left like stuff, signals for us to pick up on. Like the Baphomet is one of them. The image of the Baphomet, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
That's actually a really old thing, and really,
Capricorn.
yeah, but the image has a lot of details in it to give you knowledge. You're
Uh
supposed
huh.
to learn from this. You're supposed to
Exactly.
extract the knowledge from that image. It's kind of like when we was talking about the pyramids, but we didn't talk about this about how like the hieroglyphics, because how like today, right? The media, it's all fucked up. It gets it. We don't know what the fuck is or ain't right, but like I say, they're not like you were saying. Their knowledge is ahead, way ahead of where we are now, way back then.
Hmm.
So they wrote that shit in stone so that it can't be misconstrued. You know what I'm saying? It's it's
Well, they
it's
know that they
extra.
had been here many times. They know that they had been here many times and didn't leave those marks. And as they come back through, because you can call reincarnation or whatever you want to call that, because like I said, we're just another, you know, we're just a copy of our ancestors, But if they started doing that because they didn't want to lose the knowledge for when they come back to be able to have to start over at zero again. So yeah, they started doing that after millions of years of
They
already like
realize some stuff. They
yeah.
realize that like the media or whatever, the message gets misconstrued and twisted. So then they leave these things that can't be misconstrued. But
Hmm.
and I'm scared to talk about this. I ain't gonna lie. They've been working in the pyramids, and they've been trying to like, because those walls tell stories.
Hmm.
And the thing is, the knowledge, that's why you can't go in there. But they've been doing this for years. They've been trying to etch that shit away, bro.
Well, yeah, I mean, because that's the whole thing. That's one thing that for you know their great grandparents have been trying to figure out a way to, and they've been following behind them to try to get rid of our history, because there's so much of it that proves our, all like it. Well, actually, it disproves all of the things that they teach us. So they're trying to really, find a way to make themselves, either make
It's,
themselves those people, or to just totally be able to erase the fact that it's us, the people
and
that
they
they've
can't.
been, the
But
people
they've been
that they've
trying
been
hard. And it's like the
oppressing.
noses, the noses. Why the noses all shot off, all the broken off, all the damn old statues? That's
Because
because that was a nigga nose. They could see that. And a lot of people don't know the Sphinx is older than the Great Pyramids. You
yeah,
know, they
well,
don't even know how old the Sphinx is. They don't know. There's evidence around the Sphinx that shows water. Uh, you know, uh, Evidence that there was water, like a river, lake, sea, or whatever. This
yeah,
water was. you know how water does. It leaves evidence that you can't you know that there was water there. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
but the thing is, there wasn't no that part of Africa. There wasn't no water there for a long ass time. But you know what? They know it was a sea there. They go there now and go find uh fossils in the desert of ancient fish and shit. That's what, and they do a lot of studying out there because they keep finding all these really old extinct animals, and it was a sea. It was a shallow sea was there.
Well,
So
I
that saying the Sphinx was probably there then. So, and that was a long time ago. But what I'm saying is the Sphinx. If you're not gonna build a You're not gonna build something in the middle of a lake or a little small ocean like that or whatever. Well, there's something with the
well,
pyramids with the water and electricity and stuff, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking
well,
about how old the Sphinx is
no,
because that
I
that
know exactly what you.
it was probably built before there was even a lake. I mean, before the sea or whatever the hell that was even was there.
All right. Are you familiar with the clock of destiny?
No,
All right.
unless this goes by another name also.
Well, the clock of destiny. All right. You know that we just left out of the Piscean age, right?
What? See, you're confusing me because the way I look at that is the fish. What is it? Pisces. Oh, you saying it different. Oh yeah, we're going into the age of Aquarius. That's what you're talking about, right? You're talking about
Ex- exactly.
the procession of the equinox. That's what you're talking
Y-
about, right?
yes. All right.
Okay.
So it's just like the zodiac. It's the zodiac is set up on a monthly basis, yearly
It's the year
basis.
cycle, twenty six
Yeah.
thousand years. I know what you're talking about.
Well, the because that's actually 2166 years is an eon. So
It's
for every eon, it switches to another age. An
right.
eon and an age, that's the same thing. An
Procession of
eon
the
and an
equinox.
age.
Yeah.
So we're moving into a new age,
Right.
which is Aquarius.
Which is Aquarius.
So that's where like our Earth, it spins 1,000 miles per hour. We see the sun, for
It's
like how all right, we're going through that cycle, but when it comes to these eons, just like every month it changes you know uh well, a constellation. As it passes through a constellation, we move into a different cycle. So it's doing that every age. So like if you even look at what's the Catholics.
right. Well, the fish for
Exactly.
Pisces. And then
Yeah.
before that, it was the bull for Taurus. I know all about this is what I studied, bro.
Aries, yeah, Aries or whatever it was. Yeah,
It,
there's
it,
Taurus.
it was
Which one? Which
Taurus. It was the bull, and then it went to the fish, which is Pisces, and then now we're in the water barrier, which is
yeah,
Aquarius, and it's
because
all
I mean,
related to the stars. And
eh,
it's and what you was talking about is the cycle. It's the solar cycle. It's the because everything goes in a cycle. Everything has a orbit. And even the sun has an orbit. A lot of people don't know that we do circle the sun, but the sun has an orbit of its own.
yeah. Well, see,
And
that one of the things is like America went through an ice age.
why you want
Nobody here
to?
knows about it because you don't live long enough for to be able to see it. So if we like, I know I'm switch going off a little bit, but like Antarctica melting, that's not global warming. That's just the way that our Earth is spent to where, there's going to be another ice age
It's the cycle.
somewhere.
It's the
Yeah,
cycle.
it's a part of the cycle of our universe.
Right.
And there's going to be a place that's going to end up being cold as hell, freezing, and all that other kind of stuff. So, I mean, these are just different cycles that, this planet goes through. So, as far as the water that we were talking about with because I mean the Earth is going to shift. It's going to make different tilts, different degrees of change that it's going to make to where our oceans are going to move to a different level, and the water's going to shift to those places. So that's just like what they say Atlantis. Like these
Right.
were places that used to be above water.
Right.
There's other places out in the ocean that we will probably, like our descendants, like people that come after us, they'll be able to see those things again because of the rotation of the earth. And that's just like the big flood with Noah. It was, that was the, symbolically, saying, this great flood, but that's just a part of the how our planet interacts with the moon, all these different planets, because as it spins, it's not just spinning just one specific, or it's gonna change angles. So where water is now, there may not be water. It's gonna be somewhere else. They might have to start up a civilization somewhere else.
Yeah.
Antarctica is gonna be able, because Antarctica was able to was a tropical place at one time.
Yeah. So it's like a polarity, and it's like we're switching polarities, North and
Yeah.
South Pole. What do you know about Planet X, Nairubu? I can't pronounce shit today. You know what I'm saying, right? Not
Hmm.
Nairubu and
Yeah.
Planet X and all that. What do you know about that?
Well, that's a part of the same kind of thing we're dealing with us orbiting throughout the universe. And that really, I mean, I guess I should say multiverse, because it lives within a universe itself. So I mean, by it, us interacting with it every so many thousand years is just because of the way it turns and the way we turn our
The,
our
the
movement.
orbit. The orbit.
Yeah,
Right.
that's all it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what it is, and a lot of people don't know. But there's a lot. I always say science is looking for God. Science is like a religion of its own, and it's searching for God. And because it's like it's the atheist religion or whatever. But they're searching. They're really searching for God. They're searching for hard evidence of God. You know what I'm saying? That's what I
Yeah,
think. And but back to the space thing, it's kind of like about the asteroid belt and shit. And it's like it's like there's a planet missing right there, and they don't really have a good explanation for their explanation for the asteroid belt is no good. It's a couple other things that they don't have good explanations for is the moon, and the proportion size of the moon that we have, and then we only have one moon, and it's really huge compared to us. I mean, it's not, we're way bigger than it, but it's a most planets don't have moons this big. I don't think there is a planet that has a moon this big in comparison to its size. So what I'm saying is that like science and then when they do find stuff, they find us, and then they're trying to explain this shit away, and like that's the reason why they're stuck. They're stuck because they don't want to admit the truth about things, and they keep trying to find a way around it. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
yeah, because there's pyramids on the moon.
I saw that. I don't know about that. I mean, I'd have to see more evidence of that.
Well, from my understanding, I haven't done the actual research myself, but based on some of the things I've studied, the moon was a part of Earth.
Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what it is. What it is. Like, okay, like I said about the asteroid belt and all that. So and then Planet X, all of this is connected. And also the Bible, Book of Enoch. Uh um what could possibly have happened? There was a planet, another planet out there that's not there no more. And the asteroid belt is pieces of it. And the thing is, the planet was on an orbit, on one of those elliptical type orbits, the ones that go way out in deep parts of the universe and then kind of come back. Because people don't understand orbits, like they think it's a circle, but not necessarily. Like it's pretty much not going to be a circle. It's a, like a sphere, like a perfect sphere. It's not going to be that. It's going to be some other shape. So the thing is, some of them have like a elongated orbit. It's stretched out like whoop. Anyways, so you had this planet who had this elongated orbit, and freaking it chipped the Earth. It hit us. Wow. And it broke apart. It disintegrated. And that's why, see, the moon is really a piece of the Earth that recoalesce. If people really understand gravity, because gravity doesn't behave the same on the Earth as it does in space, because we're on the Earth and the gravity of the Earth dominates us here. So, but whenever you see anything, right, like let's say some oil, you drop some oil in some water, it's going to automatically make like a bit of a ball. It's going to make a bit of a ball. So that's what happens in space. You know what I'm saying? So you had pieces, and those pieces coalesce together to form, because when they went to the moon, they took the moon rocks back, and then they was like, none of these, there's rocks on the Earth that's older than the rocks on the moon. There's no rock on the moon that's older than the rocks on the Earth. The moon is younger than the Earth.
Now that part, I mean, I can't agree or disagree. I'm not so certain about that part, because I mean, as far as I mean, I would think, maybe they haven't found some rocks on the moon that are just as old as Earth, because I mean, they were one, and I would assume that if it broke apart,
Yeah. I'm
I mean,
probably
I don't
saying it
think,
wrong.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm probably saying it
I
wrong.
mean, I'm just going on just my simplistic reasoning, but if it was together at one point, then and possibly with it being away from Earth, being out, maybe it's not aging as fast as what is
No,
aging
that's
here
that's
on.
not how it works. But I probably said it wrong. But that goes back to what we were saying about the aliens, extraterrestrials, or whatever. Because
Mhm.
if you read the Book of Enoch, some of the shit don't make sense. The only way it makes sense is if somebody was out there, like and that we have to ask ourselves where we came from. If you do believe in the extraterrestrial thing, because I don't go this far with a lot of people,
Yeah.
but you have to think about where we possibly came from. You know what I'm saying? That's Planet X. Freaking, you can't live um 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 fucking Mars. Well, Mars is a whole nother story. But Venus,
Yeah, I was just
you
about to
can't.
say, because I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't even want to
and
start.
we
I'm gonna
we
stay
yeah, we
within
can't even
this.
say that the information they have about it is 100% correct,
Yeah, I'm gonna stay
but
away from Mars for the moment, because Mars could also have been a planet that we came from, because we know that Mars had an atmosphere like us, and you see, it falls in the Goldilocks zone, like with the Earth, and that's what I was gonna say. Venus is too hot. You know what I'm saying? We do have Mars, but the next planet over, we can't live on that one either. So what I mean is, if we did come from one of the planets in this solar system, the planet would have to be in the Goldilocks zone. You know what I'm saying? The place where liquid water could live, because as far as we know,
mhm.
nobody, life can't live without liquid water. So not too
Yeah.
hot, not too cold.
What planet is it that where it rains diamonds?
That's Venus.
Neptune. I- Is it Venus?
I think that's Venus. I really do. I think that's Venus. It, I think that's Venus, because once you start, the interesting planets are the closer ones. Once you start getting out, they become ice, or either gas giants or ice giants,
Well,
and
see,
like
and see, that's the thing. I think it was like Pluto. I don't think it was as close as Venus. I think it was like, you know, Neptune or Pluto or something. Saturn, and maybe it's Saturn. I
it
don't
could be
know.
Saturn, because Saturn is close enough. Yeah, it could be
Yeah.
Saturn, because I might be mixing up Saturn and Venus. My brain is, I always say, a lot of times I say the opposite of what I'm trying to say, but fucking yeah. So it would have to be one of these ones, because The other ones are, you got the gas giants, Jupiter, and them. They, the atmosphere. Like, there's no, as far as we know, there's no hard like land. As far as we know, like it's like it's a gas giant. So we wouldn't be able to live there. And when you go further, it's just frozen. Uh, Frozen rocks basically. So it would have to be one of these closer planets. But and then the story about Mars is really interesting too, because it's kind of like, what if we did come from Mars, or some of us came from Mars, and you know how, like, when they be talking about destroying the planet or whatever, like, some kind of technology was created that, like, maybe we was going through a global warming or something, and then we tried to, save the planet or something, and then we created some kind of technology that just fucked off the atmosphere, because they don't even know what happened to Mars, because, like I say, Mars had a they know for sure that Mars had it had an atmosphere just like ours.
Hmm.
They pretty sure it has
Well,
liquid water. They're
one
pretty
of the
sure it has liquid
reasons,
water.
yeah,
Hmm.
one of the reasons why they're so caught, this whole talk with, you know, what's the Tesla guy's name?
Uh, 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 Elon Musk.
Musk. Yeah, Elon Musk. Yeah, the reason why they're talking so strongly about Mars. I mean, they know that that's, like whatever cataclysm that happened however long ago, like the it's in a position where it actually has water. There's actually civilizations there, just
Yeah,
like
they
up
want.
here, like the pyramids, like they'll go there and be like royalty in Mars, because like it's already set up. They wouldn't even have to go and start building right away.
Yeah, they
Like
want
there's
to
certain.
terraform. They want to terraform Mars. That's what they want to do. Yeah, that's what they. That's what, because they're worried. So they want to have another place to go, but also they want to colonize. When you look at Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever, you see all these planets
Uh-oh, you breaking up. You still there?
two arms. A lot of them, like
Hello. Hey,
okay, I'm here.
yeah, you were gone for like 20 seconds. So
Oh, okay.
I didn't hear none of what you just said.
I was talking about terraforming Mars. Did you hear that
Yeah,
part?
I heard the beginning of it and then it went out
Yeah.
again.
So, like, um, damn, terraforming Mars, making it habitable. What I'm saying, for humans. I don't know where I was
Hmm.
going. I forgot where the fuck I was going, but
10 years ago,
another.
they sent people out there as a with in capsules for them to be able to live, and like these are people who like were like on just a whim. Okay, they're gonna go there and try to live almost like a what was that movie with
Oh, that's what I was saying. Wait. That's what I was saying. I was talking about the aliens in Star Trek and Star Wars, all looking humanoid, all having
mhm,
like two arms and two legs, and basic, uh, like basically like us, just slightly different. But if you
mhm,
really was looking at aliens, they wouldn't. And if they evolved from another planet, they're not gonna look like us at all. Like, they might not even have legs, arms, eyes, none of this shit. Like, they're completely different, because
mhm.
science tells you that you're going to conform to your environment, and your environment is what's going to make you who you are. But the
Yeah,
reason why Star Wars and Star Trek has all these humanoid aliens is because that's like the future in reverse of, like, the white folks fucking colonizing the fucking solar system. And then, of course, if we did colonize somebody on another planet, after a while they're going to look different, but they're still going to have some resemblance to us. You got me?
yeah. Yeah, I feel what you're saying. But I mean, if we really look at the actuality, because I mean, you know, if everything is true, let's just, based on what, we do know about certain races some of them only been here for a few thousand years.
That's what
And
I be
if this is
saying.
when things happen, let's just say when these different things happen with these different planets, the moon or whatever, when the Dogon and what's whether Nubiru or Planet X or whatever did was last here, it wasn't the people who's investigating it now.
Oh hell no. That's the reason why they're studying so hard. They're trying to learn all this shit like really fast. They're doing like a crash course. But the thing
Hmm.
is, we knew this shit way back in the day. Like you mentioned the Dogon. Them niggas, they knew the spec. They knew information that they shouldn't have known, and that's what the white folks know for sure. And that's why they always keep going over there talking to the Dogon. They're trying to figure that shit out. They
Well,
want
look,
to know.
this
Go
is
ahead.
a thing I want to ask you. Do you, because all right, now, just like we're saying, like we can't recreate a pyramid to the excellence that these pyramids that we can say that's 50,000 years old, 5,000 years old. Like, because I think the Great Pyramids, I mean, they still trying to figure out exactly how old they are. But I know the pyramids that's here in North America are older than all of those. But just on the surface, if they had that type of technology, and I've asked other people, and they look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, you don't believe that as smart as those people were, that they didn't have Wi-Fi or they haven't had Wi-Fi before?
Yeah, they were more advanced than us. They had better technology than we have. We're just starting over. I think that what happened, what happens, it happens. Like you say, cycles happen, and the fall of man. And I think that's what the Bible is talking about. It's trying to, it's like kind of like a warning. It's the fall of man. Man fell, and then had to
Hmm.
try to like come back, and evolve again. Like try to, we lost all that knowledge. To time went by. It's so long, so
Yeah,
deep that we lost that knowledge was lost. So,
yeah.
we have to learn all this shit again.
Well, and that's part of what the whole masonry, us being able to see these pyramids and things that's still here from however long ago, 100,000 years, because they're saying stuff here in America. They're saying like they still think it could possibly be older, but it's at least some of these things at least 130,000 years old.
I,
So
I was reading something that was really interesting, but I can't find any more information about it. But I think it was in Oklahoma. They went to Oklahoma. It was on a private land, some white folks. And well, the white folks that owned the land, they discovered this shit. And it may have been a pyramid. There's no pictures or nothing. But somebody wrote something about it. That's how it got out. Somebody wrote about it.
yeah.
They because the people, the white folks, they probably said something to somebody. Anyways, they discovered some shit. It may have been pyramids, and they called the official people, like whatever, the National Museum or whatever the hell,
Anthropology.
or
Okay, yeah.
whoever the fuck, them official motherfuckers. They came over there, they saw that shit, they said, bury that shit and don't say shit about it. And that's what they did. They buried that shit. So it's still there wherever the fuck it's at, somewhere in Oklahoma.
Well, this whole country, this whole continent has a bunch of jewels that is being hidden. Um, because I was watching a documentary earlier today about a skull that they found that back in the 1800s, that there's still like there's discussion about it now because of the cover up. Like they, what I'm saying, they don't want to deal with the fact that, based on the level of ground, because like I think they found it during when they were trying to dig for gold and this, that, and the other, and they found this skull, and they're saying like at the level in which they dug, because this is like 300 and something feet, or however how far down it was where they found this skull, is like, well, for it to be here,
It had to
it
be
had to
super old.
be at a certain level. Yeah, like some
That's
people
how
are
we
saying,
That's what I
uh,
study. I go to anthropology is what I study. So that's what we do in anthropology. That's how we determine the age. Is a lot of times it has to do with how far down it is, because as time goes on, the soil builds up, the dirt builds up, and it has to happen. It happens really slowly. So then, then you guesstimate about it, but it was a long ass fucking time ago. If it
Yeah,
was
I
really
mean
deep.
it's this thing is definitely a fossil, and they're like of course they got the gatekeepers that'll just get in there and just be like hush hush whatever, they try to play it off like it was a joke, and like this is it's like a little it was just meant to be a joke. But then there's like some anthropologists who really take their career serious and love this thing to really try to find out like true honest science. And he's like there's like you know somebody trying to convince him that, oh, this thing is not real and whatever. Is that, well, if this thing is not real, then just to hell with everything else that we've learned, because whatever it is you telling us, or whatever you want to try to teach the masses, the people, that like this is real. And if this is not real, then we might as well just call everything else a lie too. So what is it called? Calivorous or Calvarez, or I forget what they called this skull, but this thing is they're saying is like 1,000,000 years old. So
I think I know what you're talking about too. And they haven't been talking about it because they can't find a place for it. It's like they don't know what the fuck. So they don't have no,
well,
like, it doesn't fit in the evolution.
exactly, like their whole theory, every theory that they've come up with is trash. Like, I mean, I mean, the whole out of Africa theory, like Darwin, the whole Darwinism followings, like all of it is damn, this fly been getting on my nerves all day. Uh, but however, the whole Darwinism,
Are you in the back of the truck? Where the hell you at, anyways?
yeah, I'm in my truck. This is
Are
I'm
you in
sitting
you in
on,
the cab?
yeah.
Oh, you in the bed area? Okay,
That's
I
my,
see.
yeah. I'm in
Yeah, I just didn't
the
know. It
birth
looked. I saw the lights
the
at the top.
the sleeper berth. They call it the sleeper
Yeah,
berth. Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, like all of the theories that they come up with, like the out of Africa theory, like all those things have been debunked. Like all of, like they, like it's like totally a lie. And they've been trying to, like I was saying earlier, like America shows, like proves that we're like this is the oldest civilization that had like true knowledge. It wasn't like some ape man or some, you know, uncivilized being. It was real, like it just cracks all of their lies. Like it are, and let's just give the benefit of the doubt that that's what they truly believe. But out of all these few hundreds of years that they've been here, and all their cover-ups are just trying to deflect the truth, it's just unwound now. So it's a lot of stuff that most people that grew up, and it's hard for just a regular average person to, because I mean they're stuck on it. Like a lot of people get so stuck into what they've learned already, and like they're like, okay, well, this is that, and I know it to be that, and then you come with some information that proves different from what they thought they knew,
yeah,
and now they ready to fight you. It's like, I didn't do it.
yeah.
This is
Why
just,
you mad at me?
yeah, I mean, just because people still working and doing stuff and learning and trying to understand, not just themselves but the world that they in, and then
Why you mad
now
at me?
it's exactly.
I didn't do nothing to you. Them folks lied to you. I didn't.
E-
I didn't lie to you.
exactly.
It's that cognitive dissonance, and like you said, the nigga might have a heart attack and just fall out and die.
They ain't ready for it.
Tell
Yeah.
him tell go walk up to the black man and say, "You're not from Africa, nigga. You from here, nigga. You in your
Eh,
homeland right now. You a native. What?"
man, and they talk, and some of them claim to be so real.
Yeah, man. I hate. I mean, I'm glad you chopped it up with me, bro. I'm gonna let you go because it's been like
Y-
3 hours.
yeah, it's, yeah, we Is this just the first one? Okay, no, okay, yeah, because when we fell off, it was still clocking. All right, so yeah, so we've been on for three hours. That's cool. I mean, yeah, I got to get up in the morning, drive some more. So, but we could do this again, man.
Yeah, I got a bunch of shit I got to do too. So yeah, but yeah, I'm definitely. We might make this a series, bro. Because like I said, and I'm probably make the videos more concise, and then kind of like I don't know. We'll make it like a class because this
you know,
is heavy shit. And like I
well,
say,
the
most people
only
I talk to don't even know this
yeah,
shit.
what I would add, I mean, when you have a chance, get your notebook, write out, you know, the things
Yeah, we
because
need to make it
it'll be better to stick to certain subjects.
right. We
Per
do well. I didn't know you was gonna be so heavy. I be jumping around on people, but yeah, we could do it like a class and like pick a subject and then kind of like talk about it and it'll educate everybody. You know what I'm saying?
well, you know, when I was married, I was in a place of where I could embarrass somebody, so I didn't go so deep with around her and her friends.
Exactly. Make them feel
So
bad, and that's why I say I don't talk. I this is why I'm doing this channel, bro, because I've been bottled up and stressed out, and I ain't gonna lie. Since I started this channel, I feel better because you know what I like to tell everybody. I feel so lonely, man. I don't have nobody to talk to, bro. Like nobody that really understands what the hell I'm saying. So I don't even say nothing. I just be like, you know.
well,
So I get on here.
I always knew, like I've heard you, you know, discuss certain things, and I knew that you had it in you. Like I didn't know, you know, you would be on everything that you know, like stuff that I've been, you know, on or whatever. So I mean, I knew it was in you, but we just never really had a place to really chop it up like that.
Yeah, cause I like I say, I'm always scared. I don't know. I'm afraid of everybody, and I'll be like talking about. I'll be what I mean is when I'm in groups and shit because they're all against me, man. Like if I'm in a large group, I get nervous because I might get outed, and them niggas might turn on me behind something I said because they so fucking. That's what happened to Jesus. That's why they killed that.
Well, that is true. That is true. If it was a living man, I mean, based on
They
his
would kill him
knowledge,
again if he came
they
back. They kill him again.
they was looking for him after they said he rose again. They still looking they still looking for that nigga.
What? That nigga came back. I'm gonna kill that nigga. All right,
Hell
bro.
yeah.
I'm gonna let you go, man, because I gotta pee and I need to eat too, and I
All
got
right,
shit to
bro.
do. But I
All
really
right,
appreciate
man.
it, and I'm gonna
I
chop
enjoyed
it up with
myself,
you.
man.
Maybe we could figure out like a regular day to kind of do a live. That way we can have a audience that's kind of waiting for it, and it'll be me and you. You know what I'm saying? Type
Yeah.
of chat, and it will just we'll chop it out offline, and then I'll you know later or tomorrow whatever, and then maybe
You
we could try to make some kind of schedule.
can you edit the
I
video?
can edit this, but this is live right now, so and I'm probably just
Well,
going. It's gonna automatically upload when I'm done.
well,
But I
nah,
could go
and
back,
but what I'm saying is you can go back and you can just like
make
take
clips.
certain parts and
Yeah,
yeah, and start just popping them out.
yeah, I might do that because there was some parts in here that was pretty damn heavy, and people probably not
Your
gonna make it. It's
hey,
three and a, 3 hours.
your boy in the beginning kind of, I was like, oh Lord, he just told us not to go on that subject, and he was
I know.
nah, that's what I want to talk about. I was like, oh man.
And he work in the medical field, so he knows a lot of shit too. But that shit was gonna get my channel fucking. They might have came and got my ass. That nigga started talking too much.
Oh my
Any of us talk
goodness.
too much about that shit, they coming. They on that shit heavy
Well,
because
look,
I think it's
I
the
got
end
some.
game.
We can
It's
talk
the,
offline because there's some stuff that
yeah.
I'm looking at that don't add up to me.
Yes, it
I
don't.
got
It
some.
don't make sense. It's
I
because what they're doing is not up front. What they're actually doing is not what they're saying they're doing. And like I
um
say, I think this is the end game. It's the new world order. It's the neoliberalism. It's the globalist economy. It's the
2030, the 2030 plan, like yeah, depopulation, all
they
that. Yeah,
yep.
I'm all that's it. But
That's what it is, and that's why I didn't
you,
say those words.
oh my bad. Well, cut that out. But however, tomorrow give me a call. We can talk just regular because it was something that I got in a text message today. Um, that was supposedly from a nurse that
Mm-hmm.
it just didn't make any sense to me. And like I study science. I mean, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a biologist. I'm not a an
But you know enough.
accredited. But I learned basic science, and there's just certain things that when they're saying it, it's just like, okay. And I'll go into details once we talk, because like it for you to really get what I'm saying, I need to be in detail. So
All right, man. I appreciate you coming in, bro. Thank you.
yeah, man, no problem. I'll see you next time,
Love.
bro.
All
Yeah,
right. Peace.
one. Peace.